The other thing,
Build a rack so they keep,
Right.
well, yeah, I mean, you got the money in it.
do you wanna, get somebody to put that dock in down at Langley's?
Yeah, we can, we'll try to put it in later today or maybe tomorrow.
Another question, are you guys gonna start blading roads? Cause I'm getting a lot of feedback to me. When are they gonna start?
We're actually plotted to start, probably tomorrow.
Okay.
We're finishing up a few projects, like they're finishing up crack sealing today, and then a few other small things we want to get
I
done.
get a lot of calls from, out there. I don't know if that farm to market, we're going down to Pollock there, the guy that, it's a washboard, I don't know if they can blade it twice,
Can they cut it and,
cut it.
not to degrade here, but when you go from here into Campbell, it's like driving in Emmons County.
That's why I don't know if they can cut it once and then wait a week or so and go and cut it again, and do it again, or whatever, I don't know.
Cut and throw, I don't know, I'm not a blade on.
I don't either.
Right, well, I mean, we can, yeah, I mean, we'll try to figure something out, but
Cause
I'm
once,
sure it's a change in material, cause you know, when you come down that hill, then you get into the flats, right? Like, when you get into Campbell County, it gets into the flat area, right? So it's probably.
really, there's some steep hills coming and going down into the flat.
Right,
When
but
you get down in the flat, it's pavement. Well, there's gravel around that curve.
right, but when you come in from, at the county line, doesn't it come from a pretty steep and then it just, I mean, it could be a change of material, we'll look into it, like, it's kind of on our, what I so call a hit list of problem roads, just like a cattail road, like they've been problems, they've been thorns in our sides, we're trying to come up with better solutions so we don't have to do this, but every solution you come up with is super expensive, so.
Because as soon as it gets dry, they can't cut it no more.
Right, so,
Yeah, that's why I say to get the farm to market once.
yeah, well, we're gonna start with our farm to markets, you know, this week.
Okay, cause I think that limited.
We've got a few more culverts we gotta get started, and we gotta finish quick, and then
Oh, that reminds me of the culvert by the rotary ground, did you look at that?
it needs some attention, we're gonna put some attention to it.
And then,
That's a little bit.
Ron, did you guys clean out those cattle passes, Rick?
No, that's on our,
Okay, so Ron Dietz must have some land there too, that's in that same field.
To the west.
To the west.
So he's wondering if you're gonna clean them out at the same time too.
Well, there'd be three of them.
wasn't there 4 on that road? I thought I counted 4.
Maybe
2 at
there's
the
four,
beginning and
there's
2 in
one
the
on
middle.
each side of Dietz's farm, you're right, there's 4 of them.
I figured we were just gonna do them all when we were there,
Yeah.
just,
Well, they're all pretty much the same,
You're
they're
gonna
the
what,
same
just pull
size
them
and
up, bring them into the
everything.
shop and fix what has to be fixed and take it back?
right, that's what I'm hoping, I mean, I'm hoping we have maybe 2 days invested into this, you know.
Well, he had called me and said that I heard you're cleaning out those other ones, are they gonna clean out mine? I said, I'm not sure,
Yeah,
Well,
our
it's the
plan
same-
was
It's
just
the
to-
same road, so it's all.
Our plan was just to do all 4 at the same time,
Yeah,
just, and then fix whatever's, I mean, only one of them's kind of in the worst shape. I mean, one of them just needs a little section of pipe and then the rest of them,
We put 2 days into them now and get them cleaned up and fixed, you probably won't have to touch them for another 5-10 years. I mean, because they haven't been touched in 20 years, so I mean, you give it a good attention and get them cleaned out decent since you pulled them up.
Are they built stem pipe?
Some of it,
it's weird, but I think when we were cleaning up in the shop, I think we found some of that pipe that they used it laying in the weeds, so I think we have the right pipe for it, so.
the base of it is rail track.
Yeah, some of it's railroad tie
It's like
and
4 or 6 inch tall, like rail track. They cut into sections and
The
then they.
rail track itself?
That's like that'd be like the joist of it, and then they went across it with like 2 inch or 2.5 inch drill stem, well then some of the drill stem must have broke out,
Broke off.
and then they put grater edge on it. Instead of putting the pipe back, there's chunks of grater edge, so even like when I went to clean it out that one day, there was parts you could get your hose in between and suck it out the back. Then you get over the next section, you couldn't fit between the grater edge, and so it was,
and like the one with the cutting edge is the worst one, that's.
that one, and that's the second one to the west when you start from the east.
Right,
That's the one that was the worst one, cause once you get up by Dietz's, I think there's I don't know if there's less traffic on them or why, but they're a little better shape, so.
well, they're built a little bit better, they use actually or H-beam or whatever.
Sure, and that's probably why too, so but it looks like they kinda built them out of whatever was left from the shop.
And who knows when they were, like, one might have been built in the
The
40s.
grater edge has a year welded on it, I don't remember what it was the 60s, I think.
Yeah,
Somebody went and took the welder and put like 1968 or something like that in
and
it.
the other ones might have been built in the 80s.
Could have been, I don't know.
Yeah, it's brittle when you call it a grader.
Yeah,
It's like welding a plow there.
right, they think it's hard, but it's not, it becomes,
It's garbage.
Well, as soon as you
For
put the
that.
pressure on it, it breaks the well, so yeah, well, if you guys, it'd be good to get that done, cause that.
Yeah, no, we're just, I think we're now into the good weather, I mean, hopefully we don't get any super cold snaps or, remember last year, we were still plowing snow this time of the year.
Yeah.
Last Easter, all the guys were working, so.
Were you at that site when they went through that yield sign north of me? Or don't you know nothing about it?
I don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing about it? I came back on vacation, this one guy said, did you take the yield sign down? I said, what are you talking about? North of your place, a half a mile. I didn't take it down, what do you mean, take it?
So there's a yield sign down north of your place?
No, so I drove back, I left the elevator and I drove back, the yield sign's there, but evidently they were coming from the south on the Westfield Road, came down and were going to the new elevator terminal, Leonard Better. And Chad Vanderhorst was coming from the west, coming east in a truck. And it's all flat. And there's no trees, there's no crop to obstruct the view. But I don't think Leonard even seen what was coming. He was just focused on getting to that elevator. And he turned, he was probably, this is the road, he was turned and he hit the ass end of that other semi-trailer loaded both with corn. Well, Leonard's truck is demolished.
Oh,
And the rear end on Chad's truck, I mean, the wheels, he hit him in the back and the wheels, they're dog-tailed like that. That nobody got killed is amazing.
But the yield sign is still up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's
So he went through the yield.
all I,
Do you know where I'm at?
Yeah, but I.
no offense to anybody, but that's all I really care
I
about.
didn't care what about
As long as the sign's up.
Yeah. They both could have been killed,
Really?
because they were coming with both loads of corn.
I mean, thankfully they're both,
Thankfully, he hit him in the tail.
Yeah.
thankfully they're
I
both
didn't know
okay.
nothing about it.
Huh?
Thankfully they're both okay.
Yeah, and the yield sign's there, because I made sure,
Yeah,
when they mentioned this thing, I said, well, that yield sign, somebody pulled it out and laid it down. But it's there.
if, I'm sure the sheriff's department.
They were there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if they would've noticed it was knocked down, they.
Because I think he was gonna leave without calling us. You can't leave without calling us, you know? And you can see the material for the semi, the tractor, the way he hit. And Chad's is still sitting up there on the new terminal site, up on the hill, on the west end facing north. And I think they hauled Leonard's back to Bismarck, and the tow truck came down. I figured you guys were informed about it, or called about it.
Well, I was also on vacation. so-
Must have happened 2 weeks ago, roughly.
I was probably on vacation when that happened, so.
Anything else for Sean?
No, I didn't see it, for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh, just,
Okay.
so that contract that was in yours, you can.
You'll keep it.
For Wold, you say?
Yeah, you can, that was just for the project, so you don't have to sign it, and you can just throw it in the garbage.
You guys wanna bring that up? Let's go ahead. You guys wanna discuss the vehicle or?
Oh,
Yeah. Well, the question, or I guess the issue would be that in the handbook, it says about people not taking the county vehicle home. So that's in the policy book, or at least from what I was told. I haven't looked into it as far as what exactly it reads, but that's a question that we're gonna have to, are we gonna enforce that or not? So,
And I know you don't wanna hear it, I don't wanna hear it, but I'm getting a lot of heat from people.
Right. I mean, whatever you guys decide.
well,
I mean, I dropped tires off at Northwest Tire last night, so now I have to pick them up tonight, so. We can leave them.
What did you take, truck, tires up there, or what did you take up, off the blades, we're under warranty, what do we do?
We have to put new tires on one of our, on the sign truck, so it's easier to have them just haul the tires up there and take the truck up there.
And we bought the tires from Northwest.
Yes, they're gonna just mount them and then we'll pick them up, so. I mean, whatever you guys decide is fine with me, whatever.
well, we were talking about it this morning a little bit, it came up because we were talking about the GPS tracking. And, I wanna apologize to Commissioner Materi because I probably spoke a little bit ahead of myself with this when we were talking, because you did wanna make a motion and that was fine. I probably should have explained what I was thinking a little better.
It's fine, it's
No,
all.
well, the question is that if we are gonna if it says in the handbook that we're not gonna let people take the vehicles home, I think what we should do is we should put it on the agenda, we should read through that part of the handbook, and if we're gonna amend it, it should be amended properly, like on the agenda. If we're gonna make motions to change it, or if we're not gonna change it, then we just need to honor that. And
So there's
then-
clarity.
Right, I mean, so, because, and that's in fairness to Skylar too,
Yes.
because previous road superintendents have used, there's always been, it's not an abuse area, but there's always expectations where you have things outside of your job, you might have to take the truck. If we're not gonna allow that, or we don't want that done, then we need to be clear about it.
Yeah,
And if we're gonna follow the handbook, then we all need to agree that we have the same handbook that reads the same thing.
Yeah.
Not, Donnie and I have some older version that you guys got, we need to make sure whatever version is right, that's what's in the handbook, and if we're gonna follow that, that's fine. And then that needs to be relayed clearly to everybody, road department, whatever.
Everybody.
Even like with social services, I was under the impression that from time to time they had to do that. Maybe the old social services might have done that or something, but that's obviously not the case anymore. I was wrong on that,
cause
so.
we had someone in there talking about it today.
Right, and so, I mean, if that's the expectation though, like we can't have a policy that we say we're gonna follow and then
We don't.
kinda not follow it and make things work. Like Skylar needs to know that either he's gonna be able to do what he's been doing or that's just not acceptable. And then the other acceptable practice is to pay for shipping, which, not necessarily saying that's more or less, but that needs to be the expectation. We're gonna get it delivered, or we're gonna get it during work hours, or whatever. And that truck is it's gonna go to Bismarck, it's gonna be like during work hours, and it's gonna come back at the end of the day, whatever. We need to just specify it and just be more thorough about it.
How often do you have to take that home, do you think?
Depends on whatever, I mean, there's no set schedule. If there was a set schedule, it'd be awesome, but there's not.
I mean, is it once, twice, 3 times a week or about there?
Sometimes it's 3 times a week, sometimes it's not a week.
So what do you drive down with? A pickup or a car?
Me?
Yeah, if a guy had to pay you,
We were looking at
mileage,
paying
you use your own
mileage.
vehicle.
Well, I have both. I mean, right now I use like a SUV. Right?
So, but I mean, if you have to get small stuff and bring it down,
So like Friday, I drove around and I picked up our signs. Like we have some signs that's 3D Solutions or Sign Solutions. I went and picked those up on my own time, with my own car.
see now there, would you mind if you use if we're gonna have.
I'm not gonna split hairs, like I'm not gonna charge you to go pick that up. It's just part of the job. Like,
No, but I
that's-
mean, if you have to go to Bismarck that evening and take something up and bring something back, if a guy paid you mileage for doing that.
Right, I mean, you sure can, but now you're just splitting hairs here. Like, I mean, you guys gotta see where I'm getting at on, I mean, I understand your guys' point, and I hope we do get this, you read the policy and get it done with. I think it should have been done a long time ago. These same people have been after me for 2 years, have yet to catch me doing anything wrong, cause you can't catch me doing anything wrong, cause I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, I'm not going grocery shopping with it, I'm not going driving around, I'm not doing anything like this, it's for whatever their county business to my house, then back here, it's just like a giant triangle. But read the policy, I hope we do get it squared away and we'll go from there.
Well, I think the big thing I was just trying to relay this morning, and sorry for jumping on your throat on it, is that sometimes we just have a discussion, it spurs off into another discussion, and then nothing happens. And when I meant to make the motion, it was probably a little more structured, and instead of just making a motion right in the meeting on something we were still kind of deliberating, I probably shouldn't have done that to you, and, but I think we just need to be consistent, that's the big thing, so.
That's number one.
Let's look through the handbook, I think it should be put on the agenda, if not next month, whenever someone's ready to bring it forward, it should be on the agenda, we're prepared to discuss it. If we're going to amend it to fit something we want, great. If it doesn't need to get amended, then it's fine, it just needs to be enforced, then it just gets enforced.
Not pointing fingers to nobody.
Right, but we gotta be consistent too.
Yeah, like I said there before, I mean, it doesn't pay for him to go to Bismarck and then come back home, drive his vehicle, drive a company vehicle up. If we could pay you for your mileage and you use your own vehicle, that,
Well, if you're coming down already, or so, right, like, we just need to, if we're going to do that, then that needs to be consistent in the handbook too, or we need to amend it that way. That was my point I was trying to get forward. Cause if you're just gonna go through and, we're gonna follow the handbook, but then we're also gonna pay him mileage, well, does that contradict something in the handbook, does it not? Or if we're allowed to do those things, then we're gonna make sure we do those things the right way, so we're consistent. So that way another department doesn't go, well, you do that for the road, well, that's different, cause they need to know. We're gonna adopt something in the handbook or enforce what's already in it and be consistent.
I'm just saying, we gotta have some common sense too. It doesn't pay to drive up, drive down here, drive back up and get parts and come back.
I don't disagree at all, but at the same time, then we need to just make sure that our expectations are clear and we're just doing our due diligence and being consistent. That's the main point I'm making. I don't disagree with you at all, Don. And the same goes with Skylar too. I mean, if you can find efficiencies, good, but we just gotta make sure we're being consistent with everybody, so, that's all. Does anybody else has anything else to add to that?
Well, I guess, we just want this noise to stop,
Yeah, I just want it to stop.
Yeah. Well, I think the
We said
proper
we're
way
gonna talk about it to eliminate the problem instead of this GPS tracking.
Mhm.
I mean, we talked about it, so that's the only reason it's being talked about.
Right.
And I got it yesterday again from a guy that I never thought I'd hear it from, ever, about this pickup going to Bismarck, Mandan. I don't know where it's going, cause I don't babysit it daily. And I don't wanna babysit it daily.
I mean, yeah, let's put this nail in that coffin,
Well,
once and for all.
to just kind of reiterate the conversation from this morning, what I meant to say, or what I should have said was, we need to put it on the agenda, so everybody's prepared, not that one or two guys were really looking into it, the other guys didn't know what was happening. We're gonna talk about it, we're gonna discuss it, we're gonna make some motions and amendments if we have to, or we're not gonna do anything, and then we're gonna agree that that's the handbook and that's the way it's followed. So Skylar and Josh and Marlis and everybody that does any of the driving or anything understands that that's the expectation, and that's probably the right way to do it, and then after that, in my opinion, it's handled.
Cause I know state and federal vehicles, you do not do it.
Yeah.
They do not go get a state vehicle, drive it to their home because they're gonna use it in the morning. Then they can go out and warm it up because it's handy, it's by the house, and then jump in the state vehicle and take off. They can't do it. They drive up, they pull it out, they set
Are
it
you
by the
100%
state
sure on
building.
that?
Yeah, I am, because I've talked to state people within.
Okay, I mean,
And even county deals, I've been told, quote, within the county, they take it home because it's handy, and then they take it in the morning and do what they have to do. It's not the way it's supposed to be. State, you do not do it. That's a period deal. If they're closed in the morning where you take that vehicle out, pickup, car, SUV, whatever, you do not do it and they're not open that morning. You make arrangements that evening to go get it. You take it to the state building, you park it. You drive home with your vehicle, even though it'd be a lot easier to take it home. You come up in the morning to where it's parked at the state building and you get in it and shut yours off and get in that state vehicle. And then you conduct business.
Well, the biggest thing is if our policy says that we need to go through the policy and figure out what's the best thing.
If it's too strict and doesn't fit what we want, we need to make amendments to it. If it's fine the way it is, then we need to agree, we
Yep.
looked at it and then enforce it.
That's the biggest thing, we just gotta figure out what's the best thing to do.
Okay. Do you think there's anything else?
And we had somebody with social services in here today,
Yeah.
made the statement, not pointing to her, but she said, we do not take that vehicle home for work the following morning and leave it set at our place. It comes back to the county building. Okay, so yeah, I just want it done and that it's all right, because, yeah, it has
I
to
wanted
be
that done 2 years ago.
done.
Okay, the only thing now is get on the roads as soon as you can, my opinion. I mean,
Right,
You
like
can do what?
get on
tomorrow,
the roads as soon as you can.
like, gotta finish this few small things we're doing, so.
Yeah.
I would expect everybody, unless there's unforeseen circumstances, they should be out tomorrow, all of them should be running.
Because I know we got this one day Thursday, Friday we got off, right?
Right,
See, because a lot of people say, hell, we only get going 2 days and then we're not bleeding.
well, yeah, but they don't see what else we're doing, they don't.
Right, I know, that's just the nature of the animal, you know?
I mean, and these manufacturers must paint these motor graders with invisible paint, because people haven't seen them for six months. and-
They're big and yellow, so yeah, you know what it's all about.
Well, we got a lot of colorblind people in here, so. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Howard.
all right.
Alright, last item on the agenda would be what got added this morning, which would be squatters' rights, which was Commissioner Miller's question, concern, topic.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to ask Joe, what is the law in North Dakota on squatters' rights? Somebody takes up residence in a house that they're not, have no right to,
Well, they go through the eviction process.
I don't
and why
know,
should you have to though?
North Dakota doesn't have squatter rights, do they?
So, well,
If they're trespassing.
that's two different things. If you're dealing with a trespasser, then law enforcement will charge them with trespassing and have them removed.
So what's the difference between squatters and trespassers?
Well, a squatter, I guess, would be like a colloquialism, a term used to describe someone who essentially claims an ownership interest or a lease right to a residency or a piece of property. Typically evidenced by utility bills or lease agreement, some sort of deed that they believe that gives them at least color of title to the property. And so if your law enforcement officers is confronted with someone like that, you know, they're not gonna be able to make a determination legally whether that person has a right to be there. So they're gonna say the courts are at your, you know, at your discretion. So the landowner's gonna have to, typically they hire an attorney, they serve them with an eviction notice. I mean, there's a process in scheduled, I believe it's like within 3 days, but not after 14 or something like that. And the court will make a decision. And once there's an eviction judgment, then the law enforcement can help, you know, effectuate that judgment and people from the property. If you want it done sooner, I would say talk to your representatives and have a watch it. Understanding it is what it is. People have rights and.
Well, there's different, I mean, it's a kind of a state by state deal with some of that stuff, because there's, from my understanding, like squatters' rights and all that, different, you know, the older states maybe have different laws than even like what we consider, we're kind of a newer state versus like the East Coast and some of the southern areas. So that some of those, because I know it's kind of been a big issue in places like Florida and Georgia and stuff, but
They have squatter rights.
well, they're older states, and squatter maybe had a different term, and there was different, there's a whole kind of historical avenue to that, where,
Because some of the states had squatter, where they have rights, and some of the states where squatters don't have rights.
well, and I think probably, yeah, like the older states didn't maybe quite remedy that, where maybe the newer states never really allowed that, or you know, like North Dakota's probably much different from Virginia on things like squatters' rights, just because there's kind of a historical reference to like back when squatting was a little more normal, or I don't know what you'd even call, I don't know the total history of it, but it just had something to do with like abandoned lands, and then people would basically come up and like work it for a while and claim them, and that was essentially like squatting, where versus someone who was like paying rent and all of a sudden quit paying rent, that's like a different, I don't know, there's kind of a different.
What if they come in, they have to have it posted, no trespassing? Because you said if they trespass legally, they can't be on that property.
No, you don't have to have it posted to have somebody convicted of trespassing. I mean, there's breaking and entering, there's all kinds of different forms of that type of criminal behavior. But, yeah, I mean, I guess it really depends on a number of different factors. I mean, I guess we could talk about hypothetical criminal violations all day long, but,
I know.
I mean,
Well, I'm saying,
if you want,
if they come into a
For 2
house,
months, you're not
and just
gonna
take
toss
up
it.
residence
No.
without permission and start to take over and get electric hooked up in that would be squatting and not trespassing then.
I wanna jump in a little bit here, because I'm kinda with Commissioner Miller, cause it's been on the news more and more lately about, especially with the migrant crisis, and all of a sudden they're going into unoccupied residences, and then there's this theory of squatting, right? Well, I'm watching it going, that's trespassing, isn't it? Like, I'm confused, how can you just, like, a structure is unoccupied and you can somehow occupy it without buying it? Like, I'm kinda with him in this general sense of it's kinda confusing, I don't know, I mean, obviously, you know,
It sounds-
just picking on you in a meeting is probably not totally fair, but I guess kind of a clarification, cause it's kind of weird.
It's
I've
fine.
watched it myself, and when I don't understand how this even works, how could, I mean, in my mind, the squatting would be illegal, not, so.
Here, it'd be-
Well, I would just wonder if it's a North
Like
Dakota
it
thing
sure
versus,
is.
other- well, that's
Well, that's what we
confusing.
don't know.
Huh?
I think North Dakota's illegal.
I don't know, is it?
Is it, Joe?
I thought it was.
If you enter a structure, you don't have, legal, a license or an invitation to enter, that is burglary, so that'd be illegal.
So I don't know, cause I watch the news and they talk about this squatting deal and certain people are fighting it and there's certain, like, the cops can't do things and I'm going, I don't understand.
Well,
what it's-
So you have somebody that's in a building, and if they're saying that they live there and they have rights there, well, what is the police officer supposed to do in that case?
Say he moves in there during the winter months and throws in little propane heater or whatever, bottle gas heater.
All he has to have is his clothes there. and
Yeah.
he's-
And he's pitching a tent with
It's
a
an
sleeping
interesting
bag.
conversation, cause I mean, it's something, it probably comes back to another thing that you don't know anything about it till it happens to you, and that's maybe a bad sentiment,
And I've heard it that if they move in, say during early fall, and it's not caught, and due to the adverse weather moving in,
Can't.
that technically you cannot throw these people out during the course of the winter months.
Oh, I don't
So
know.
then they got this time frame to their benefit, and
I worked at a law firm one time, and we evicted a family on Christmas, so I don't know about that. Whoever's giving you that legal advice.
you did evict.
well, the only thing I was gonna say
You
is when
don't
it
pay your
comes,
rent, you go through the process,
When-
it just comes on.
when it comes to the
A lot of
tax-
times the court will give them a little bit of time to get their stuff out of there, depending upon the circumstances of the eviction here. I don't know if this is county business at all, I guess.
it's interesting, cause I mean, the only counter argument to that is I always thought it was strange that we finalized the taxation stuff in November. Kind of a horrible time to be evicting anyone. I mean, technically we do that, so, I always felt like that should be done in July, so if you are gonna kick someone out, my God, do it in the summer, not right before the dead of winter.
Certainly worst, yeah, that's certainly probably the worst time to do it.
Yeah, I always felt like it was a terrible time, I mean, if you're gonna do that to someone, at least give them the benefit of the weather, so. Anyway, well. Interesting question, anyway. Okay, well, that is, the end of the agenda items, the only thing left to do would be the miscellaneous, which would be the building permits.
Joe, you wanna stick around for some more questions?
You're looking for your opinion, are we in agreement, we'll just work through lunch and finish up?
Yeah,
Get done?
finish
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so, we'll move on, so the first item will be the plat for lot 2. The Emmons Logan Energy Center, southwest quarter of section 34, township 134, range 74, Emmons County, North Dakota. So that's out in the wind farm area, right?
Yep, corner of 72nd and 21st, they already have this lot, I don't know if it's a substation or what, they've got some structure here.
Okay, so that's out on the end of the Tendick Road there, right south of Jim Schmidt's place.
Yeah, this
Yep.
is Jim Schmidt's.
Yeah, okay.
Corner there.
Yep,
Yep,
so they're platting out,
this lot 2 right here, so I'm assuming they're gonna purchase that from Jim, no idea what the
Okay.
plans are, but plat's good.
That's for that new wind farm that's going north of Wishick.
No,
This, I have no idea what they're doing.
oh,
They're
they're
tying
gonna
into this
expand
infrastructure.
Oh,
transmission.
expand
Huh?
are they?
I don't know, I heard there's supposed to be 3 more phases. Am I
The
wrong
only,
on that,
the
or
only,
you heard
the only
anything?
thing I ever knew anything about was Clay Cameron came in here about a year ago to talk about, remember they were gonna put
Yeah,
the
those
storage
battery
units on with the battery,
Yeah,
unless this is a part of that.
Oh, for storage.
Well, they were gonna do that for energy storage, basically, they were gonna have them climate controlled, kinda like what they have at the Dapple deal, where they're air conditioned and heated, and they're gonna store
they're like storage
like
containers.
battery cells or something, but I guess the plat's not really an issue.
Nope.
Everything seems to look square.
Like dinosaurs on the landscape.
So, motion to approve, table, or deny the, plat for the Emmons Logan Energy Center?
Is that gonna be a battery deal then?
What is it?
It's just a
We won't
plat.
know till they get a permit.
Yeah, there's no permit application, it's just a plat.
So why do we give a permit? Unless we know what it is,
Well, we
We
don't,
don't,
this is just a plat.
okay.
yeah, they
All they're
gotta.
doing is telling us, yeah, we're just assuming that's going.
We don't, yeah, we don't know until they do the permit.
It's just hearsay.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Everly to approve the plat for approval? Yeah. Okay. Motion to approve by Commissioner Everly, is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Seconded by Commissioner Holmes, any more discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Commissioner Materi and Commissioner Miller opposed. Plat's approved 3-2. Next item on the agenda is a plat for the Greenwoods Acres, 3rd edition, southeast quarter of section 27, township 132, range 79, Emmons County. That's gotta be down along the river, right? Glenwood Acres?
Yeah, just south of Beaver Bay, there's all the Beaver Bay stuff and
Is that
stuff.
plat there?
Jesus,
Yeah.
plotted out already.
So, originally, all these lots were platted, however, when they originally platted this, they didn't get all the signatures required to officially record every lot. So they were gonna sell this lot as lot 25, however, it wasn't officially recorded, so they're basically just resubmitting another plat and calling it something else, so everything's fine, they're just giving it a new name. It's a one-acre lot.
So that's all surveyed and pin set?
It should be all set now,
Okay,
yeah, it's just they didn't have this one officially recorded when they originally did it because it didn't have enough signatures, so now it's good to go. But it's just this piece right here. Cause originally they tried platting this whole area, but it's been platted in sections since then because of the lack of signatures back in the day. So a piece has been platted here and there, adding to it, so.
is that down in the flat, or is that up on the hilltops?
No, it's in the flat down there.
Yeah, it's a flat before it drops to the river.
Alright,
Yeah, it's good on my.
everything looks good?
Yep.
Motion to approve, table, or deny the plat for Glenwood Acres?
We'll make the motion to approve.
Commissioner Miller makes a motion to approve, is there a second?
I'll say.
Seconded by Commissioner Everly, is there any more discussion on the plat for Glenwood Acres? Not hearing any, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Plat approved. Next item on the agenda is tax abatement for parcel 09-00-06532-010 for tax year 2023.
It's a farm exception.
Okay. Everything is, okay?
Yeah.
All right. We have an application for a tax abatement. Motion to approve, table, or deny.
I'll make a motion.
Motion to approve.
Yeah.
Commissioner Materi makes a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Miller. Any more discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abatement approved. Next is a renewal for a building permit for Paul Schneider to complete an addition to provide a facing attached garage on home lots 1 through 4, block 1, Glencoe Estates, section 12, township 136, range 79.
Where's that?
Just south of that Glencoe church on 1804, about a mile and a half. There's a few houses there on the west side of 1804.
He already had a building permit?
Yeah, he had
Signed out or
it, he
something?
just didn't start it,
Oh,
so it's setbacks are fine,
Basically the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was approved before, I didn't see an issue, so he just had it in the garage to the house.
motion to approve, table, or deny a building permit for Paul Schneider.
Approve it.
No, second.
Motion to approve made by Commissioner Miller, second by Commissioner Materi. Any more discussion on the building permit for Paul Schneider? Not hearing any, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, permit approved. Next is building permit for Ship Land Company LLC to build 2 grain bins on Lot A, southwest quarter of section 23, township 135, range 76.
That's east of 34.
Guessing that's the old Werner farm there, yeah.
About 3 miles east of Hazelton. Yeah, he's just adding 2 more bins in line with these setbacks from the highway are good, over 300 feet. So.
He's coming west.
Yeah, he's gonna add them to the west here, so.
He's on the corridor.
Yeah, he's gonna add 2 more here.
Motion
Geez,
to,
that first one's close, isn't it, to the right of way?
That's just his property line there, and
That's not a
agriculture.
section, no, okay, you're.
Yeah, that's just his property line.
Yep.
there's no setbacks for ag, so. Motion to approve, table, or deny.
Make a motion to approve it.
Commissioner Miller makes a motion to approve, is there a second?
Yeah.
Seconded by Commissioner Materi, any more discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Permit approved. Building permit for Justin and James H. Bashis for the removal of the current detached garage and construction of a 30 by 40 garage in the southeast quarter, less acres to US right away, section 4, township 130, range 79.
Where's that
This is the road that goes west in the cattails, so just south of Seaview
Oh, that's
Farms.
right, so, okay.
East of what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's east of Cattail, but it's just south of the Seaview Farms, the potato.
It's right.
Yeah.
Fish cleaning station.
Yeah, just east
It's
of
that
that.
farm.
Yeah, it's just removing 2
Yeah,
old.
the road's over, the road's over
Yep.
here, to the east.
What's that?
Whose place?
So he's putting a,
Whose place was it?
Originally, yeah.
It shows the plat.
remove the current detached garage, construction a new garage.
Yeah, he's taking out, these 2 older ones here and just putting a new
Putting
garage.
it in over there.
Yeah.
Motion to approve, table, or deny.
I'll make
The motion, yeah, go ahead.
Motion by Commissioner Holm to approve, second by Commissioner Everly, any more discussion? Sorry, Materi, you were third on that one, so.
That's all right.
Any more discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, permit approved. Building permit for Carol Nice, for metal roof on farm residence, section 32, township 131, range
I
74.
dare you to deny it.
I make a motion automatically. ASAP.
Motion by Materi to approve, is there a second? Second by Everly, any more discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, permit approved. Building permit for Myron Hireman to erect a 30 by 48 post-frame storage building on lot 10 of lot 1A, Rudy Edition.
Still got it.
Section 3, township 130, range 7. That's down Cattail.
Yeah, okay, so this one, I better pull this up here. So, this one I told him the setback, because it would be considered a side of the yard. We actually have 15 feet, however, it's next to core land. And I know we have in the past allowed it to be closer because there would be no neighbors building. And basically in that area, have built in the past right up to the core line. You know, yeah.
So is there core problem with that?
They've never said anything to anybody that I know of or to me, so he's looking at doing 6 feet away from the line. It's 15 feet, but he wanted to stay away from his road coming in. He's looking at putting it kind of right here. And so it basically just asking for variance to do 6 feet from this line instead of 15.
Is that the Hunter? I have no problem with
And
it.
they're marked, they have this line marked pretty good with stakes and both, and he's mowing right on the line, so he wants to put it, you know, in this area. Right here, just 6 feet away from that line.
I've never dealt with it, you guys have?
Well, the only question I would have is, isn't that zoned recreational down there, or is it?
Yeah, in our book though, we consider it like residential with no public water and sewer. So
Okay.
we follow the 1540 from front, 15
Sure.
on sides.
So I always thought once you get down into like the Cattail and Beaver Bay area, that's where I would consider recreational, that's where the setbacks.
Yeah, and how our setbacks are written, there's not a separate for recreation,
I see.
it's residential, and then two different residentials down there.
Well, morally, I don't have a problem with it building right back to the core, but I mean, the ordinance is the ordinance and setback 15 feet. It's gonna issue a variance on it, but I mean, we all know how, exciting variances have gone. I mean, I feel like that, I mean, what if the county ends up acquiring that land from the core 15 years from now or some kind of weird scenario, and now you've granted a variance on a setback? That's the question.
And then the paragraph after that says the minimum setbacks can be less if adjacent similar uses are less than the required minimum. So, these are lots just north of there, and they're right on the sidelines, they're a few feet from the core line. So I mean, if you go off this, it says it can be allowed because it's being done on adjacent lots.
Well, and you could actually argue that the adjacent lot, which is the core, doesn't really have a minimum, at least to my knowledge, so then you could say that basically it's adjoining a lot that doesn't have a minimum, so. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, it's just about staying consistent, but, I mean, that's, at the same time too, with it bordering the core land like that right now, it's not really an issue at all. The odds of the county ever having core line like that is probably slim to none, so that's, I mean,
They take before they give.
yeah, if anything, if he builds too close, he might lose that building, that's a fair comment.
So why can't he stay back 15 feet?
Because he'd be moving closer to this road he drives in, and then it'll be right up to his house or something. It's gonna be in this area right here,
There's not a lot of room on that lot.
but
So that road is just a little trail,
that's just his
a
driveway.
flat trail,
That's his driveway, yeah.
just shuffle it around a little bit to the north, right? If he needs.
If he needed to, yeah.
I have no problem with it,
Just take it.
Well, we have a motion to approve, table, or deny the building permit for Myron Heilman.
And as far as the house layout, that's the best way for him to go,
Yeah, they're right here.
on the
I
interior.
don't think he'd have any room on the other sides of the property.
He'd have to move that shed.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be,
Sometimes these
Or
homes
he'd have to
are
move
laid out.
his driveway somehow to, if he moved his building that close, he'd probably have to move his driveway out, which,
It's probably a bedroom on that side too, so it isn't practical.
Yeah, probably.
Just think of these old homes are laid out. Even though the entryway's on that side.
Yeah.
It's an old schoolhouse the way it looks, isn't it?
Looks like it.
Right?
Yeah, looks like it.
we have a motion to approve, table, or deny the building permit for Myron Heilman.
I'll go right out there and I'll make a motion to approve it.
Commissioner Materi makes a motion to approve the building permit, is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Everly, is there any more discussion? I guess in my opinion, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm not in favor of it, and I know it's really not a big deal, but the problem is it always gets kind of accepted and accepted and accepted, and now it ends up where you really don't have a setback or an ordinance, and it's been mistakes made in the past on that stuff, and I don't know if it should continue, so. I guess if it was me, I would just keep it to 15 feet off
Done deal.
and just do it the right way, I guess. I know that impacts his driveway, but that's really it's not our problem to make their driveways better that they laid out, and, I mean, if you end up having to build something where a road is in the way, 9 times out of 10, you end up moving the road. I mean, we're in discussions of moving a road down an area we didn't build.
Bring that up again, if you can. If it's just the driveway,
I don't have a problem with it building it right on, but if it was just me personally, but as a governing body who should be trying to stay consistent, and historically in these zoning areas, we've been terrible. Yeah, I mean, everybody, all the commissioners
And he'd have enough room to stay 15 feet back and still
You
keep
just
the
have to move
lines.
his driveway, made it, I just,
Yeah, then move it.
I kinda feel like you should just stick by the rules and not bend them for,
Can you do a footprint of the building, like a 30, what do you want, 38?
You kinda did that on this one, you did a good job.
Okay.
So 30
I mean-
feet away, yeah, he'd be fine then.
That's a 6.
Yeah, you moved it back.
you'd have to move it roughly 9 feet to the north, right? I
Yeah,
mean, give or take.
I know, and that we would just put it on the other side of the house. Like, probably the house is screwed up on the inside.
I don't know.
You can't do it.
It's too close to
Like
the
mine,
property
we
line
couldn't.
with the resident.
I'd had it done, cooling down on the other over.
Well, we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? I think we'll take a roll call vote just because there might be some questions, Marcy.
Everly,
Yes.
Holm,
no,
Magrum,
No,
Materi,
Even though I made the motion, no.
Miller,
No.
well, I'd say the permit is denied, but I don't think anybody's got a problem with building the building. I think just the setback should be honored. I feel like if he honors the setback, I have no problem with building the building, but at some point, we're gonna have to hang tough on some of these things, I guess, so, anyway. Building permit for Clint Seiler to erect a 16 by 24 picnic shelter with no sidewalls on lot 12, Coyote Hill subdivision, section 23, township 123, range 79.
yeah, Beaver Bay, setback's fine, but yeah, just a picnic shelter. Not gonna be causing any
It's
issues
in
or
the middle of
anything.
the lot or edge of the layout, so.
No, he's 50, 60 feet off the line there.
A motion to approve, table, or deny the permit for Clint Seiler's picnic shelter.
I move to approve it.
Commissioner Miller moves to approve, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Holmes, any more discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion approved, and building permit approved. Next is a renewal of a building permit for Mike Deerwester, assuming that's in Tenvick.
Yep.
That was the one we approved last year and got this
Yeah.
So
road
that
vacated.
road's closed.
It's not officially yet. I think Joe saw us do the actual paperwork to vacate it so I can close off and then he would own all this. Cause he has all the lots beside it, but there's no official paperwork yet, so I haven't moved the lots, so. But I think he just started on the foundation, so he hasn't finished, so. But we allowed him to.
Well, we approved the vacating of all that, so I think that's all kind of official, and I
Yep.
guess, if anything, if you wanted to be super official, you could approve the building permit with the contingency that the paperwork is fine with Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, I talked to him the other day about it, he's gonna do it.
It's pretty much
Yeah,
finalized,
he just, I think he forgot about it maybe.
So we have the renewal of the building permit for Mike Deerwester to erect a 36 by 48 garage on lot 1, block 9, Tenwick Road, section 5, township 133, range 76.
I make a motion to accept it.
Commissioner Materi makes a motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Miller, any more discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Permit renewed. Next is a liquor license for Cody Schultz? Our Place by the Bay LLC for a special event on May 25th. And there's also another one for July 20th. They're both special event permits and some other events.
I'll make a motion.
Where is this place at?
Our Place by the Bay, it's the old Bayside.
Didn't, Gary wanna know about this before we made a deal?
I sent them off the agenda, you haven't sent.
Cause he always wanted to kinda know a little bit ahead of time what was.
Let Sanders know. Does he need to get, he would.
Okay. Well, we can move on to one one
Go to one of the
here,
local Rosemary
just make
Days.
sure that, cause I know them special events, you're right, you want to at least have a heads up on.
City's got guys to man.
Yep, so we got, building permit for Rosemary David to add a 40x40 addition onto existing pole building location. The east half of the southeast quarter, less the right of way, section 31, township 136, range 78.
Where's this at?
It's gonna be out along 1804, north of the Hazelton boat dock.
It's about a mile north, mile and a half north of
Yeah.
Hazelton Boat Dock.
North of the Hazelton boat dock.
Yeah,
On what, the east side?
She's right
East
there
side.
by, what is that,
so
yeah,
there's a few houses here, the,
Emilio's or whatever,
Emilio's.
she was a Culver. It'd be like Joey Culver's sister, I think, and then, it's right along the highway, she's got that
Well, that's
riding
his
arena.
brother, isn't it? That's her brother, isn't it? He bought that house and he put up a shop.
Right, and then right across the road is, Rosemary David.
Okay.
She's got 40 or 80 acres or something, yeah.
and
Okay.
this just came last night, so Marcy just added this, but I have, just looking at it, looks like they're adding on to probably this, pole barn maybe?
I would say, I think that's the only pole barn, I've been out there
Yeah.
before,
So
yeah, it's
if-
in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
nowhere, but I mean, they shouldn't be anywhere close to a
A
setback.
road or whatever.
yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, and they already have the pole building out there, so.
I make a motion.
Motion by Materi to accept, seconded by Commissioner Everly, any more discussion? Not hearing any, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Permit approved. Gary, we just had a couple, liquor license requests for, Park Place by the Bay on May 25th and July 20th. Just like, looks like one day special event liquor license request.
When is this?
May 25th, which must be Memorial Weekend, and then July 20th for special event.
Okay, that's by,
Cody Schultz or Schultz,
are they looking for, to move their liquor license, or?
Well, they're gonna hold it outside of their building.
Guessing
On the
that's.
same, on the same property, just
Yeah.
outside?
Yep.
Yeah, we've had no issues in the past with the facility or anything like that, so,
Presently, kind of.
Yep. absolutely, sure, I appreciate that, thank you.
Yeah,
Both okay, okay?
I'd have to look at scheduling issues, but, yeah, as long as we know about it in advance, so we can, prepare for those both.
but they're not on your list or nothing like that, or your.
No. I know that I've had recent conversations with the Attorney General's office, the liquor licensing department, especially with the pending quasi and stuff on the whole thing with liquor licenses. I know that in the past, like for the Strasburg Rodeo, they usually have somebody come in and do that. There's a process that hasn't been done in the past that I think needs to be done. And they explain that basically that since if a bar from the community of Hague or Strasburg or Linden was to transfer their liquor license to the rodeo grounds, the fact that they're transferring it outside the jurisdiction where their liquor license is, they need to get a second liquor license, okay, from the Attorney General's office. It can be done, and it's fast tracked because they're already pre-approved for the liquor license. So the process is minimal, but to follow that law when you do that, because it's a jurisdictional thing, their liquor license, for example, in Strasburg, is not valid in the county. They can transfer that, but they need to make another application with the Attorney
We
General's
don't do
office.
any transfers.
What's that?
We don't do any transfers.
Right, but that's where these bars need to do
Because-
that.
They need to do transfers?
Yes,
Okay, because we always just did another liquor license. So they can
Exactly.
keep their facility open in town, but still have
if
a
it's coming
license.
into the county outside the city jurisdiction,
Right.
they need to get a second license by the state. Again, which is fast tracked, it's a very minimal process.
By the state or by the county?
By the state of North Dakota, the Attorney General's office.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did this come about? It's always been, but just that.
Well, the conversation I had recently with the AG's office is because everybody's transferring their liquor license, especially for the quasi. There was talk about possibly having other bars come into the city of Linton during the quasi.
Or during that.
And in my query to the Attorney General's office, because the city was looking for clarification on a lot of that stuff too. So in that conversation with the AG's office, they clarified that they can do that, but there's a process to do that. When you move one liquor license from a jurisdiction to another one,
You go through the state attorney general.
well, every liquor license in the state has two liquor licenses. You have a local liquor license, whether that's the county
Okay.
or the city,
Yep.
wherever they're at, plus a state license, okay?
And I'm sure there's people that wanna come into Linton. on
Right,
those
and that's,
four days.
the city, I don't believe is going to allow that. They have been
Okay,
approached by other people,
Okay.
but they're not looking at doing that. But in my conversation with the Attorney General's office, looking for clarification if that was even possible, this is where this conversation all
Okay.
started with. So, concerning the county, if, for example, you guys have a liquor license at Bayside, and you have one at Cattail,
Yep.
and then you got one in Braddock. Those are the three liquor licenses that you, the board, oversee locally. All those bars in the city municipality of Hague, Strasburg, or Lytton are overseen locally by the city councils, right? Okay, but because they're different jurisdictions, if you move one from the city of Lytton out into the county, that bar has to get local improvement, okay? Plus, on the state side, they need to get approval,
Yeah,
okay? Because you're going into another jurisdiction. That's like the happy hour bar having a bar in Bismarck. You just can't transfer your license to Burley County.
yeah.
It's a different
So
jurisdiction.
if they just get like, let's say, hey, went out to the rodeo grounds,
Right,
can't they just get a new license?
yes,
Through the
and
attorney
that's
general.
fast track. What the AG's office says, because
Yeah, but I
the
mean.
quencher has already got a state license.
But I mean, they used to come here and want a license for the rodeo grounds, you know, hey, not that they're transferring their license, but they just get a separate
We don't
license.
do any transfers.
Right,
So if they just do a separate license for the rodeo grounds, can they do that?
yes, they can. And that is fast track. That is, they told me the process for that is very, very quick.
Oh, so they have.
Because the background checks have already been done, all the preliminary stuff has been done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So if we just approved that here from the city of Hague to go to the rodeo grounds, that won't work that way anymore, is what you're saying?
not without the county or without the state having a state license for the rodeo grounds too.
But do
So
you
after
need
they
the
get it
county?
from the county though, then they go to the state, right?
Pardon me?
After they get that liquor license from the county, they still have to go to the state,
Correct.
and they do that, I'm
Yeah.
almost sure they do that.
They have not. I don't, well, unless they have, I'm not aware of it, but it has, for clarification, it needs to be done.
So just to kind of clarify that too, though, they need the county and the state.
You guys have to
You still
approve,
need to get the county
liquor
approval,
license
but then
for-
once you get the
yes.
county approval, you still need to go to the state as well.
yes, yep,
And you can't just go to the state without getting the county too, so you need both.
exactly. So it's no different than if the Green Lantern had a bar, wanted to move their bar business to the city of Hazelton. It's a different jurisdiction. So you gotta get a local license and a state license again. But because they already have and possess a valid liquor license, the background checks and all the other formalities is fast track. It's a pretty simple process is what they said.
So we don't have to do anything different on the county part though.
No, the bars need to get their liquor license to the state for that type of thing. It's the bureaucracy of red tape.
Okay, so now you say like Cattail Bay, that's the counties, right?
Mhm.
So now if they went out to the rodeo grounds and got a just license. do they
They're
have-
still within the jurisdiction of the county, so nothing has changed.
So they-
Their liquor license is for Emmons County rural area.
Okay, so they don't have to go to the.
Right, but now the quencher, who is under the city of Hague, nothing to do with the county at all in any aspect, is now gonna go into the county, which is a different jurisdiction. You guys are a different jurisdictional board than the city of Hague, city council. So,
Better
Well,
make
there
sure
is-
you memorize that.
Are there restrictions with vendors coming in,
No, but they can.
like restaurants and flipping hamburgers,
You know,
like
they
in this
don't.
4th of July?
well, the city, there's the vendors coming in and the city controls that.
They could, okay.
Yeah, and that's, Wayne here,
You
who sits
take
on the
care of
city
that,
council,
okay.
can.
Cause I didn't know how to, you said, they gotta get approval, they have to have a state
Yeah, I think, is
permit on
it,
health or what?
Yeah, it's kind of special.
Special event stuff.
Okay.
So the city's gonna be notified of this anyway, or?
Well, I'll be reaching out to the bar owners. I mean, I don't know that any decision's been made on the rodeo grounds, who's gonna have that. Usually they put that kind of on a bid, to see if there's an interest for that, who's gonna be the vendor out there for that.
They just need to make sure they do it.
Exactly.
I mean, we've had history in the past where people have, they wanted to build a liquor permit 2 weeks before the event. Well, even
Right.
if we granted to them, that doesn't mean they have one then.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
They need to make sure they're awarding that.
Well, is that it's not a touchier deal because it's such a loose environment, like out at the rodeo ground with a liquor deal.
That's what I'm
if,
saying.
if what,
Well, it's such a loose environment, you know, you wanna think of it compared to in a bar area.
yeah, but that's no different than all the other guys where they have a beer garden outside, like during the quasi-centennial, or when they have a street dance in Strasburg or one in Hague. I mean, they just get a liquor transfer to go from outside their building onto the street. They're still within their own jurisdiction, so that's not an issue.
Okay.
Here, the biggest issue is you're changing jurisdiction. You're going from city to county.
County.
Right. Now, if you're from, let's say, Bayside at Beaver Bay, wanted to move one out somewhere in the county, again, they don't need a separate state license because they're licensed in the county already.
She
Yeah.
does.
So they cost them.
I'm sure there's a fee for it. It's pretty minimal from what they told me. And then I think they prorate that, so if you came in June, yeah, it's 6 months versus a full year. And again, it would expire at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, we were always told, like, our place or down at Cattail, if you do a liquor license transfer, then they have to shut their facility down for that day. So we just do a whole new license. And they can keep the facility going, plus outside the facility.
Yeah, they're usually just going from inside to outside on the same property. They're not moving it down the
Like
highway.
this one is, so they're, I mean, they're
Right.
just basically doing it outside, which.
And they're still within the county, which is the same jurisdiction,
It's the
nothing
same
has
deal.
changed.
We don't do transfers, we do new licenses, what we
Sure.
do. That's what we were always told by the state's attorney.
Yeah, I don't believe you need a new license. That's not my understanding, is again, just so that the liquor license is transferred. As long as it's staying within their own jurisdiction, it's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll never do that.
yeah,
Okay, well, we have,
okay.
2 liquor licenses, both look like they're 1 day.
One is for Bayside and the other one is
They're
for,
both
both
for our
two
place by
different
the
dates,
bay.
gotcha.
July and,
Yeah, looks like,
yeah, here it is, July.
May 25th and July 20th is the other one, so must have some kind of events going Memorial Weekend.
Is that it?
Obviously, if they're applying for permits.
Nobody need even know.
Okay, well, we
A
have,
lot of times what they'll do is they'll move that just to the back side of the bar and that type thing.
since they're both for the same place and at the same type of license, we'll just combine them. Entertain a motion to approve, table, or deny.
So,
All good?
yeah, I have no
Okay.
objections, yeah. Okay,
Gary, thanks, Gary.
Motion by Commissioner Everly to approve the liquor licenses for, May 25th and July 20th for Our Place by the Bay LLC.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Terry, any more discussion? Not hearing any, all in favor say aye. Opposed? License approved. With that, we are done with the permits and licenses, now we're gonna let who's the bill. Jonathan, you gonna get a hold of Myron, or Myron hire, or do you want somebody else to do it, or?
I'll talk to them. Resubmit a new permit then, or?
I would say just you submit another permit with the setback being appropriate, I don't think anybody's got an issue. At least I can.
Yeah, I'll let them know, so.
When you have to go back, what, 50 feet?
He's gonna go back to 15.
15.
He's gotta go back 9 feet.
Gary, did you read that article? What we
I was
discussed?
aware of that much, a long time, they've had that, yeah.
You what?
I was aware of that particular issue with the paint.
Were you?
Long, yeah. Okay, we can feel that, we can feel information, we can feel that. It's a major project. That major, kind of pointing in a different direction, but playing stuff. And they're looking at $1 million. That's a big deal, yeah, exactly.
That's been in there for like 2, 3, 4 years.
5?
Is it that long?
Yeah.
When was that structure built?
I think 5 years. I also look at probably 5.
Good. Yeah, I just got my attention when I glanced, and I said, whoa, we got the same text.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Because there was big players in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
If I might ask a question of you guys, I saw, I know it's on the agenda over here, you were having a discussion about changing the date of the June meeting.
Yeah,
I was wondering what's decided with that, because that is gonna affect, that would also be the county equalization meeting. So for notice of increase letters that are gonna be sent out, I need to make sure that I have the date and time correct on those,
June 3rd,
moving to June 3rd.
the Monday instead of Tuesday.
Okay,
So we just moved it ahead one day.
okay.
So are you gonna have the equalization hearing in the evening?
We generally always had them during the commissioners meeting, like the city portion of it.
Oh, yeah, no, with the cities in the, yeah, okay, yeah, that's a different part, yeah,
That's just in the morning, right? Morning.
yeah.
The city and unorganized township ones, those are actually going on this week. Winton and Hazelton were last night, and 3 of them tonight, and 1 tomorrow. But, because for the city of Linton, there were 3 notices of increase that were sent out, and now the date for the county equalization meeting on that letter is gonna be incorrect. So I'll find out if there's any ramifications on that or not, or if nobody protested or anything in Linton, so I don't think that's an issue.
Do you have to send letters out?
Anybody who meets the criteria of both a 10% and a $3,000 increase has to get a notice of increase within 15 days of the hearings. So for the county properties, people that may have lost their farm resident exemption, or people that have built a new home, things of that nature.
How many have we sent out, in cities and counties?
For the cities, there were 3 of them sent out. For the county, the last time I did a preliminary run, it looks like there's gonna be about 45. But that can change with the FRE stuff. Now that we're at the deadline for the farm resident exemptions, there were quite a few applications that weren't returned, and, you know, technically I should be adding those homes to the tax roll. But at the same time, if they come in and request an abatement, so, you know, I've been calling people, reminding them they got, you know, their application back in November. They got a reminder letter in February, and now I've been making phone calls to people, try to remind them, but, as long as I can accept them, I will, because if they qualify and I put them on the tax roll, they come in and do an abatement, it's just extra work for everybody.
Don, our work is in.
Do what?
I said, did Don, our work is in.
He was a little late, but I think he got his in, if I remember right, yeah.
It's better than the old Don Everly, that guy used to leave on the seat of his pickup.
So, actually, it's been pretty good. There haven't been, you know, a lot of people, when I've contacted them, they would explain that they're still waiting for their 2023 taxes to be finished and stuff like that. And, you know, it encouraged people to use their 2023 gross income statement, because then they don't have to do the gross income statement again next year. You do it for 2 years. But I just wanted to find out about that so I can update those things.
Yeah, we just moved it to that Monday, the day before.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.
It's a little better, I think last year was some millions of millions of increases.
It's a public page number. I would have promised. That. And that's a regular. Crazy. It's crazy.
We got a lot of notice there for the sheriff's office, they got, $3,200 for prisoner stuff, that's a lot of money.
That's bad, I was just gonna say that's much, I was gonna mention it to Gary. But if it wasn't there, it'd be here.
Yeah.
Oh, 3,200, that, we do that every month.
Oh, I know.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, it's 2,500 to 3,000 every month.
It's quite a bit.
There's usually 5 or 6 people that are in for a day or two, and then there's one of them that's in there for 20 days, or I don't know, if you're waiting for court or something, yeah. Every month.
So they do make arrests here,
Oh, yeah.
because it's a mess.
What's the next?
Just, well, you see all the narcotics that some of these people are.
You would think Litton, it wouldn't be that bad around here, but it must be, huh?
It's sad.
It's bad everywhere.
It's sad all over.
Yep.
It's, no matter where you travel, it's sad when you see these people stumbling around.
Ralph and Meyer used to do
And they were good people,
But
that wanted,
they
you know,
didn't
just
do that.
caught up in that crap. And can't overcome them.
Yeah, you feel bad, Tom.
Yeah, you do. Totally withering away.
Wait till we got paying lease on.
Oh,
That'd be quite good. Huge,
all of them.
yeah.
Absolutely, plus the signs that were reflected. How many,
We should do it for 5
how
years.
many signs were not lit yet, but they had to replace
That's
it?
5 years. We don't go a year without.
Was anything ever said?
I don't know, but I don't think it was many, we were up to date pretty good.
Okay, because there's some counties, that heck, that one.
You get over to like the northern part of Logan County, borders Kidder and stuff, there's just kind of a no man's land. You better know where you're going, because it's hard to read, I mean, you can read them when you get way up close, but I would have to say our signs are as good as anybody's around, so they'd be able to read them.
Is that mandatory?
It's supposed to be, because you're supposed to do
That's
this
mandatory.
activity, that's Scott.
I didn't know that this stripe in Blacktop is mandatory. Is that a state law?
It's for the self-driving.
It is.
For the self-driving car?
Yeah, you test it and all that.
We had a bunch of cars over there, without there, they had like 50.
Yeah,
Well, and then they got nothing against some guys, it's who they are, they're inner city people, they don't understand it. Yeah.
like, did they put that on? They're talking about this, and I saw yesterday, this, trucks on the road, you know, there's quite a few more on the road. There's no driver in.
Down to Texas, didn't
Yeah,
I see that on the TV now, and it's big. What?
How would you feel driving next to them?
no, I wouldn't.
Huh?
Yeah, but you probably already realize the other guys.
All these tinted windows, you can't see if there's somebody in them. That shouldn't even be allowed.
Yeah.
I went to a training at this company that was there, they're big into, was starting to get into like automation and robotics. And they said that McDonald's is rolling out one of the first, it's almost completely automated. They basically have one person that they pay like a manager's wage, and that person just makes sure that the robots don't burn the place to the ground. And you order with the kiosk or on your phone, it goes in, all these automated machines make all your food, and it gets rolled out like on a tray, and you just grab it. You pay with a card or whatever, you just grab the food, and that guy's just standing there making sure nothing's.
Dysfunctional.
Yeah, like he said, that's the new wave, when you talk about these, minimum wage increases for all these jobs, and what are they gonna do when it, that's what they're gonna do, right?
That's what they're gonna do.
Alright, well, that's basically, you make minimum wage $20 an hour for, you know, something like McDonald's, they're gonna stick $100,000 into automation and figure it out that way, but that's kind
No
of.
more, no more snot going into the hamburger, because guy gets over here, like, here, this one's for you.
Yeah, now you can pay whatever you want, it's here, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I knew some kids that grew up that talked about it. I pulled up. and he
You know,
didn't
we're still on camera, right?
They still-
Watch out, you're intimidating here. We're still rolling.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
no, and he told us that, I said, really, then he goes, yeah, that's the expectation in a lot of these urban areas, they're gonna, these big franchises, these chains like McDonald's, they're gonna go to like almost a fully automated. It's gonna be like a dang feedlot almost, there's just gonna be one guy making sure everything's working, and the machines are gonna do it all.
Not good.
And they are doing it, like, it's not, that's not like a newspaper article, this guy said they are working on it right
Well, we're
now.
all gonna be replaced too.
Down-
We not learn what's.
Down in Texas, you know, yeah, we keep letting the state do it, they will just be a big kiosk, so your permit there, and it don't matter what you do anyway, so.
Yeah, it's like you go to the Minnesota or Chicago, when you go into like Taco Bell or something, there's nobody up front anymore to
That
order.
happened in Bismarck, I went to that one by Menards, and I waited, and then I asked this lady, is anybody gonna come down? She said, no, you gotta go there.
You gotta what, punch in what you want?
Yeah.
You know, everybody just wants to order a chalupa, and nobody pays on it, you know?
You sit there, all of a sudden you gotta go up to the screen and start punching everything, whatever you want, you know?
I hate to admit it, maybe it's a generational thing, but actually that was McDonald's by Oasis. Now that I hated it the first couple times, now that I do it, I'm like, this is really easy, and I just started doing it. I don't even walk up to the register no more, cause they do still have someone there, but they go right to the key.
Too bad, I had to go hungry that day. I had to go hungry that day.
You might want to revoke that strongly worded, Council Bell's headquarters, not serving you your
Cause
children.
they brought it out. Really?
Yeah.
20% tip, are you kidding?
Well, there's robots, tips too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get rid of that part if there's just all robots, that tip at the end, cause I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
unfair, then, I mean, the robots ain't got no kids to feed.
We're living the
Well, that's the thing, they all ask for.
What are we all done with the
all
bills?
ask for tips, yeah.
I'll
Okay, so when you
entertain a
go to the
motion to
grocery store and
adjourn.
the baker goes to, they carry it out, do you give them a tip?
Meeting adjourned.
Second.
No, I mean, no.
They're up.
Well, I carry, yeah, they carry, if they can carry it out, you don't give them a tip, but you go order food from a restaurant or something, you always give them a tip, you know? It's weird.
Oh, it's gonna change.
Oh,
Oh. You know, 20 years from now, I can't imagine what it's gonna be. Biden economics.
Yeah, right.
We're all reading the nursing home being taken care of by a robot.
Yeah, by a robot,
Feel
yeah.
that?
Get out there.
yeah, I think Josh turned the camera off, though,
Turn it off.
it's still rolling, I don't know how to turn it off.
Okay, well, I gotta get going.
Okay, Kevin, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, you're gonna have some good weather here.
they should've
It's
kept
supposed to get to
February.
70 degrees this week.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's coming.
Well, it's the weekend, I think it's supposed to be.
That's amazing. Okay, everybody's.
You guys have a good day.
Yep, see you guys.
You can't leave, there's no motion.
Yeah.
Who did?
Just them two were talking so
You
loud you
did?
couldn't hear it. Commissioner Miller made the motion to adjourn, Donnie seconded, we.
I didn't hear it,
Yeah.
sorry.
Pay attention.
Didn't hear?
Your phone trying to work or something?
He's on his way up.
Yeah, you're gonna get us sued, Josh.
Yep.
Can't